Department of Justice demand for 2024 election materials from Wayne County. The request, sent last week by Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dhillon, has ignited fresh debates over election security, federal power, and lingering questions about vote integrity in one of America's most contested battleground states. This development, announced on April 19, 2026, highlights the ongoing tension in American democracy, how to balance rigorous checks on election processes with the risk of politicized interference. For viewers of news genre, this story cuts to the heart of trust in our electoral system, one that delivered a Trump victory in Michigan in 2024, yet continues to face scrutiny in Democratic strongholds like Wayne County, home to Detroit. On April 14 or 15, 2026, the DOJ's Civil Rights Division, under Harmeet Dhillon, sent a letter to Wayne County Clerk Kathy M. Garrett. It demanded all ballots, ballot receipts, and ballot envelopes from the November 2024 presidential election. The request came with a 2-week deadline and a warning. Failure to comply could lead to a court order. It framed the move as necessary to verify compliance with federal election laws. Supporters argue this is standard oversight, especially given Wayne County's past issues, including the 2020 certification drama and isolated fraud cases. Critics, however, point out that Trump won Michigan in 2024. Official results were certified without widespread successful challenges. Why revisit now? The administration's broader push includes similar actions or probes in Arizona, Georgia, and Missouri, suggesting a systematic effort to examine urban Democratic areas where irregularities have historically drawn attention. Michigan's Democratic leadership wasted no time responding. Nessel's office released both the DOJ letter and their detailed reply. In it, they noted that the cited fraud cases were few, out of over 1 million voters, and had already been successfully prosecuted by state authorities. Michigan's safeguards, they argued, work. Ballots are held by 43 local clerks, not centrally by Garrett, complicating compliance. Nessel vowed to defend the state in court if needed. This pushback fits a pattern. Michigan has sued the Trump administration over executive orders on voter eligibility, proof of citizenship, and mail-in voting, claiming federal overreach into state-run elections. Since taking office in January 2025, the Trump administration has prioritized election security. This includes requests for voter rolls, lawsuits against states for non-compliance, and high-profile actions like FBI involvement in Georgia. Proponents view these as fulfilling campaign promises to prevent the chaos of 2020. Harmeet Dhillon, a prominent conservative lawyer, leads the Civil Rights Division's voting section with a focus on fraud prevention and clean voter rolls. The administration argues that states must preserve materials and that federal law allows scrutiny where federal elections are involved. Opponents, including many election officials and Democrats, see this as weaponization of the DOJ. They worry it undermines public confidence, harasses local clerks, and distracts from real governance. Federal judges have blocked some similar efforts, affirming states' primary role in elections under the Constitution. Wayne County, with its large Black and Democratic population, has long been a flashpoint. In 2020, canvassers briefly deadlocked on certification amid fraud claims, later resolved. Isolated incidents of fraud occur everywhere, but studies consistently show they are rare and do not swing statewide results. Still, skepticism persists among many voters, fueled by tight margins, urban-rural divides, and past procedural lapses. Elections are fundamentally state matters. Constitution leaves administration to the states, with federal laws like the Help America Vote Act setting minimum standards. Wholesale demands for ballots raise chain of custody issues, storage costs, and privacy concerns for voters. Michigan law requires preservation of materials for audits and challenges, but not indefinite federal fishing expeditions. Nessel argues the DOJ's request lacks specific, credible evidence tied to 2024 and is overly broad. Legal experts predict litigation, potentially reaching higher courts on federal versus state power. Meanwhile, election materials are not always perfectly stored. Handling millions of ballots requires secure facilities. Any transfer risks tampering claims from either side. Exactly what transparency efforts aim to avoid. Midterm elections loom. With control of Congress at stake, both parties are posturing. Democrats frame Republican moves as voter suppression or revenge. Republicans see Democratic resistance as hiding vulnerabilities, especially in mail voting and urban counting. Public trust remains fractured. Polls show many Americans, particularly Republicans, doubt election integrity. Actions like this DOJ request can either rebuild confidence through verification or deepen divisions if perceived as partisan. Supporters of scrutiny note legitimate concerns. Non-citizen voting, though rare, chain of custody and absentee ballots, and inconsistent signature verification. Michigan has improved processes since 2020, including audits and risk-limiting checks. Yet critics argue proactive federal review prevents future crises. Opponents emphasize that Trump won fairly in 2024. Probing a winning election risks appearing vindictive, potentially suppressing turnout or inviting retaliatory probes in future cycles. Meaningful election reform requires bipartisanship, standardized ID requirements where feasible, paper trails, transparent audits, same-day or secure mail voting with verification, and severe penalties for fraud. Both sides agree fraud exists and must be deterred, but differ sharply on scale and solutions. States should lead, as the founders intended, while federal authorities enforce existing laws without selective targeting. Transparent, independent audits, perhaps by nonpartisan experts, could address doubts without endless litigation. For Michigan specifically, releasing limited, anonymized data or allowing observers under strict protocols might de-escalate. But with hardened positions, court battles seem likely. The Michigan ballot standoff is more than a procedural dispute. It reflects deeper anxieties about who controls elections in a polarized nation. As news genre viewers know, robust debate strengthens democracy, provided it stays grounded in facts, not narratives. Trump's 2024 Michigan win was certified. Fraud convictions remain exceptional. Yet vigilance against vulnerabilities is reasonable. The real test will be whether these efforts enhance verifiable integrity or merely fuel endless contention ahead of 2026 and 2028. Americans deserve elections worthy of trust, accessible yet secure, transparent yet efficient. Bridging the divide means acknowledging rare abuses without assuming systemic theft, and protecting access without dismissing legitimate safeguards. Only through honest scrutiny, not partisan warfare, can confidence be restored.